We have moved out of the best of one format in a DreamHack Masters and Malmö B stream, and now we're heading towards the best of threes. Envy face Furia. We did get a chance to cast Furia earlier on, but Envy, we didn't get the chance to. They did lose to Astralis. After a pretty close start, it seemed like Astralis just took over, and I think they won at 16-7 in the end.
Yep.
And in this best of three, Vertigo is our first stop. I'm Vince, joined by Dust, and we'll be getting into this game momentarily. How's it going, Dust? How are you holding up there? It's been a long day already.
Indeed, been up since 4 a.m. and we still got many more hours to go, and we got 2 more days to go after that. So it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint for us over here on the B stream. We appreciate all of you tuning in. We got an elimination best of 3 on the line here between Envy and Furia. Obviously, Furia had a really close game against that new G2 lineup, also on Train. Looked pretty sharp all in all, just kind of lost a few key rounds, it felt like. Meanwhile, we come into an Envy team that really hasn't played a whole lot of lands. Like, pretty much all they've played is one map here. They played IM Chicago, but even that was a bit weird because Nifty was ill, so I don't even think Nifty played the whole tournament. Their coach had to stand in for a few maps. And then they played the EPL group, so that was way back in April of this year, you know, a good 6 months ago. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot of land play for this Envy team, and they've only won 1 map on land in their entire time together, out of like maybe 10 to 15 maps played on land, so not the best. Meanwhile, Furia looking to recover with the roster change after having a really tough major, as well as that Games Clash Masters event. That was a pretty rough ride as well. Been a long time since they've been super successful at a big tournament. The last time they were was indeed Masters Dallas. So can they do it again at another Masters event is going to be the question.
And that certainly is a big question, as you say. Both teams playing for elimination here in the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters Malmö.
Yep.
And both teams, I feel like obviously Furia coming into this game are the favorites, even with their roster change. Like Envy, as you said, don't have a great record.
Right.
They're a team that, I mean, some people may not even know who the likes of Ryan are. They just haven't been in a lot of top tier teams already playing at like a consistently high basis. So I think in terms of like your average CS viewer, it will definitely go the way of Furia in their mind. But we've already seen today, anything's possible, right? Like just anything seems like it's possible right now in Counter-Strike. It's just crazy. It's madness.
It is indeed madness, as you noted, Envy. A lot of newer players on this team. Like you said, Ryan obviously kind of comes from like Swole Patrol, Singularity, kind of mostly playing at the Mountain Dew League level. So it's just a step up for him. Obviously, before this, Sam wasn't really a guy who had really played on a professional team in a big way. So this is kind of his first real foray into professional Counter-Strike. Now, you have a few veterans on this team, Fugly and Android, hailing from Energy and Complexity. Obviously, kind of been around the scene for quite some time. Nifty in his own right has played for quite a bit as well, thinking of all of his days with Renegades in particular. So, yeah, I mean, this is obviously them trying to piece something together for the North American scene. Again, they haven't had too much success other than qualifying for this LAN over United and having qualified for IM Chicago as well. But, yeah, it's definitely going to be tough considering that Fury does have a lot of firepower, a lot more LAN experience. They have had some success. Even recently, they had the Arctic Invitational victory, which is pretty nice. And I think Henny does add some firepower to this team. There's no question about that. So, yeah, I definitely think, especially our first map looks like it's going to be Vertigo. I'm not sure who picked it. If I had to guess, it's probably Furia. I have a very good track record on this map, though they have had a couple of losses to kind of smaller name teams you wouldn't expect them to lose to. So there is that caveat. Envy's only played it a handful of times. They've only played on land once, which is a huge loss to Liquid at Chicago. So, yeah, I would think that Furia probably were the ones to pick this, and likely a huge favorite.
I did just look up that for you while you were talking, and yes, they did indeed pick Vertigo. Okay. Next map is Nuke, and then if we need it, Mirage is our third deciding map.
That's a pretty ballsy pick. Nuke.
Yeah, I think off the basis of that veto, I feel even heavier that Furia have this.
It is true that, like, Furia recently haven't been the best on Nuke. Like, they won the first 5 games in a row on it, and then they kind of slowed down ever since then. And they have a new player on the team. Not sure how well drilled they are on it. And it is certainly true that it seems like, from what I could tell, Envy do like to play Nuke a fair amount. Probably one of their best maps outside of Inferno. Which, if I had to guess, I would imagine that probably got banned at some point by Furia.
I can give you the exact picks and bans. So,
sure.
Furia removed Dust 2, Envy removed Overpass, Furia picked Vertigo, Envy picked Nuke, Furia removed Inferno, Envy removed Train, Mirage was left over.
I'm a little bit surprised that Envy didn't pick Inferno instead of Nuke. Maybe they just thought that it was more likely that Henny had practiced with them on Inferno than Nuke, because Furia's Inferno has been really dodgy lately. But yeah, I guess Envy just kind of picking a personal comfort in Nuke. Fair enough.
Also, guys, while we are just waiting for the teams to get ready, there are still some tickets available for the actual playoff stage, where the stadium is going to be packed with screaming Swedes. If you want to be a part of the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters Malmö experience, would highly recommend you get yourselves involved, purchase a ticket, get across there. It's going to be awesome. I had the pleasure of being there in 2016, I believe it was, and it was one of the loudest crowds, even to date, that I've been fortunate enough to cast in front of. So definitely get yourselves across to DreamHack if you can.
Absolutely. Apparently, we're just waiting on an issue with the player's mouse. There's a technical pause, basically. That's why we haven't gone live yet. If you're kind of curious what's going on, it's not us. It never is.
Start caster.
Despite popular belief. Despite popular belief from all around the world, it's never actually the caster's fault that we're not starting on time.
Like, I don't think there's a single occurrence where it has been a caster's fault, because we're typically just sat there waiting for the queue to start casting, right? So, yeah.
So we do apologize for the delays, but not much we can do about it. We're just kind of rolling with the punches, just like you all are. Again, if you're enjoying yourself, we have another best of 3 after this, and we still have 2 more full days of the group stage here on the secondary stream. So be sure you're followed up so you can catch all the games. You can follow us up as well. Also, if you're on Twitter and you're tweeting at us or you're tweeting about the games or whatever, make sure you use the hashtag DHMasters as you share your thoughts.
All right, I think we've had a restart. I'm hopeful that is a good sign. To get into this one. I mean, in terms of Vertigo itself, I'll like straight up, I haven't really seen MV play Vertigo at all, so I don't really have any idea what to expect from these guys.
To be honest, we haven't seen much Vertigo period since the big changes to particularly the A bomb site, with the like new drop down kind of spot and you can boost through it, all that good stuff, the new ladder room, all that. So there's been some big changes to this map. I guess it has been a bit now since those changes happened, but there haven't been that many Vertigo games. So it's kind of hard to read everything, because before it felt like terrorists kind of dominated the map, particularly A side. They could just kind of smoke wall their way into the bomb site. CTs couldn't really aggress too much. And you saw a lot of rounds really go terrorist way, particularly over towards the A side of the map. But what you see now with all the changes, CTs can be way more aggressive than they ever could be all across the map. There's timings now where CTs actually beat terrorists to like the B stairs. Also, they can get to that sandbags position, really pressure the ramp a lot better than they ever could before. And you've seen Astralis obviously really use that to great effect and really dominate this map against a lot of teams. And so it just feels like this map has kind of shifted. I'm not sure how much or if you would agree, but it feels like it went from a map that, to me, kind of leans slightly towards the T side into a map that feels like really CT-sided now. I don't know, though. It kind of just depends on your familiarity with the map as a team, what strats you have cooked up, and obviously the meta's still evolving, as this is a very new map in comparison to the rest of the pool.
Yeah, I would definitely say that I think it's still evolving, especially as the change obviously has been in for a while, but when you consider that like, the rest of the maps have pretty much been locked in as they currently are for the longest time. I mean, we even saw Dust 2 get a rework, but actually it was basically just a reskin. Very little changed about the map.
Not barely even a reskin. Like
yeah, I'm still disappointed. I'm still a little bit salty about that, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think this map for me though is a little bit more on the balance side. It's hard for me to establish where I think this is CT or T sided. As you say, I think it depends very much on the teams in play. And because look, at the end of the day, there just isn't that much information out there about Envy with his current roster. It does beg the question: have Furia been able to really look at a lot of their demos? Have Furia really had a chance to fully sit down and MSL it, as it were, go like super try hard and counter striking and all these kinds of things? Probably not.
It's a good point. Good points across the board. I I was kind of looking at it, and if you filter for top 20 teams and you look at LAN play, in the entirety of 2019, it was a 51% win percentage for CT side, but in the last 3 months, it jumped up to 56% for the CT side, and then in the last 30 days, it jumped up again to 60% CT side. So seems like the numbers kind of support what we were talking about, where it's kind of jumped from a 50-50-ish type map, or maybe even slightly to the T side, to increasingly more and more CT sided when you look at kind of the top 20 or so teams playing.
Certainly interesting stats. Curious if that will be the case in this game as well or not, though. Because I think like in terms of skill, and this map can come across as just a bit chaotic and very
Right.
scrimmy and puggy at times because of all the aggressive plays and the very small rotation times between the sites. So I
Yeah.
think this, if anything, will also favor Furia even more because on paper, I don't think it's a disservice to Envy, and obviously I'm not trying to badmouth them, but I think Furia overall just is a more skilled bunch of players than their counterparts.
Probably so. And also, to be fair, with those numbers I brought up, it's really important to add the context that the map's only been played 6 times total on LAN between top 20 teams in the last 30 days. And even over the last 3 months, it's only been played apparently 13 times. So there's not the biggest of sample sizes to really pull from just yet to really understand where this map is headed. I would love it to be gone, if I'm honest. Just not a
You
big
love
fan.
Vertigo to be gone?
Yeah, I would. It's not going to happen, though, obviously.
Yeah,
I'm
not sure where I come down with Vertigo, man. Like, competitive wise,
feels like I'm
it
casting
does,
Call of Duty when I'm casting Vertigo.
it does feel like a different pace and kind of fresh in that respect. But at the same time, I can understand strategically speaking and tactically speaking, it doesn't have anywhere near the same depth as a lot of the other maps do. I mean, that's for sure.
Very much fast-paced, duel-heavy kind of stuff. Not a whole lot of complex layers to it, that is for certain. But again, small sample size. Haven't seen a lot of play on it yet, so maybe things will evolve over time. But we're finally done with all the delays and shenanigans. We're ready to go live. It'll be Envy starting out on the CT side. This was Furia's map pick. And we'll see how things go.
We certainly will. Envy, no real utility picked up just yet, but they are a bit slow to buy. There is going to be a couple of flashes and the kits. In the meanwhile, Molotov smoke, few flashbangs in play. Now, they could use that on A. A lot of teams will play aggressive A and smoke in, but look at Envy, 3-player stack coming down the stairs. Going to be meeting Vinny down there, who saw all 3 of them. So that's some vital information that has been gathered, and it hasn't really yielded much for Envy.
That's what I was kind of talking about, like the new T spawn and everything like that. CTs are able to really press down these B stairs with very little risk and actually really dominate this side of the map early on top of being able to also pressure the sandbags on the A slope. And it really can kind of suffocate T teams from being able to get that early space. But now, as the CTs have kind of eventually fallen back, Vinny, Art, Henny, everyone being able to shift over to these B stairs, CORSAIR being able to dump in utility from T spawn as they are looking to board to the speed bomb site.
Som's going to be completely undeterred with no flashes landing, and finally one has connected, but it's too little too late. Here comes Ryan, though, with his P2000. Connects the headshot onto Henny, putting the Brazilians at a player disadvantage. Okay, Serato is going to take control of the situation and gain some equilibrium once more. Some balance has fallen upon the server. Okay, Serato forced to back away. Flashbang put in. He is retreating as fast as he possibly can, knowing that Art is making a move onto A with the bomb under his control. CORSAIR has them on the approach. Bit more damage is just chipping away. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts, but he's gone in and swung in with a sledgehammer to the face of Ryan, leaving Fugly all alone. He is in a duel to the death with CORSAIR, who again will come out clutch. 3 separate 1v1s, 3 separate victories. Furia will lead.
Yeah, kind of a scrappy play there on that B bomb site, but Furia still get it done in the end over towards the opposite side of the map. CORSAIR, a big part of that with those 3 frags, as you've noted. And now we're going to see Furia obviously buy off the back of that. 1 SMG, everyone else on rifles. Just USPs really here for Envy. A lot of nade damage already coming in on multiple players.
Yikes. Nifty and Fugly taking the brunt of it. They're now going to look to try and funnel their way in. This should be a massacre. This should be CORSAIR padding those stats. Excellent spray control and aim, but eventually the swarm is a bit too much to handle. Map 10 will be coming in for the last kill. Maybe not. Yuri's whiffed a little bit there, but does recover. There is an AK-47, and I believe that Ryan threw it off the side of the skyscraper. The cheeky little so-and-so.
I wonder what that so-and-so could have been.
Yes.
We will leave it a mystery for all of you to figure out. Either way, we are going to see, obviously, MV able to buy off the back of that full save. Nifty with the AWP. Back to that role after, of course, JDM had it for a while. And then Sonic now, of course, with the Ryan. Also changing this back into Nifty's hands. And here is going to be that A-ramp aggression we were talking about earlier here. Sam up close. He was in Molly, but able to scope his way out of it. Nifty, though, using all the chaos to get a scope frag in there onto Henny. And there is that tricky sandbag hole that Fugly is peeking through there. Actually does get caught, though, from Art. Nifty clicked the trade back.
Solid spray control as well, man. Like, the SG for me is the most brutal weapon to control spray with. I just still haven't fully figured it out. Yuri, though, nothing wrong with that. Up close onto Android. Ryan's also fell on the site. With that kind of a push, you could see a way in which Envy would just completely repel this and get the round under wraps, but although Vinny and Yuri are both low on HP, Nifty is going to be slowly peeking the corner into the embracing arms of Yuri, and down goes Som afterwards. Furia, quick fire 3-0. Don't even bother to pick up the AWP.
Yeah, just steamroll their way in there. Up, like you said, 3-0. Money in the spot where Envy, at most, can just get some upgraded pistols. Might just do that. Yep, indeed. In the end, they do get the 2 Deagles and a CZ, a little bit of armor as well, except for Nifty, obviously saving for the AWP. Sigs aplenty for Furia.
Yeah, some firepower looking certainly potent for Furia. In the meanwhile, though, they need to make sure they don't fall into any traps of pushing onto a stack site such as A. Art with 2 kills, looking for more. Not going to get anything else for his endeavors, but the 2 kills more than worthwhile.
Also gets all the information that it is a stack, and so his teammate can kind of just hold position and maybe make sure that that gun isn't recollected, but they know that B-bomb site's open for the taking, and that's exactly what you're going to see here.
Yeah, on the site once again, and MV getting stuck behind the generators. There's a Molotov there to greet them. There's going to be a smoke afterwards once that's depleted. If they jump around the corner, it's going into certain death, and it's Yuri that is delivering it, administering a lethal dose of SG bullets. CORSAIR, final player to frag. Furia off to a brisk 4-0. Here comes the buy.
Indeed, op back in Nifty's hands. M4s across the board for everyone else so far. All is going to come out for Sam. Android yet to purchase, so waiting to see what he's going to get. He's going to get the second AWP. Interesting stuff. I know Sam's done a lot of secondary opping for them in some of the maps I've seen, but it's going to be Android this time.
Good flashes in, but it's going to be Fugly that comes out ahead in that incursion. Grenades out. They have already had to deal with Nifty's AWP here before. This time, though, Nifty is positioned in middle instead. Yuri is looking for the angle to just pick off on the catwalk. No one's home there, though, just yet.
Looks like we're going to see a boost here over towards the A-bomb side. Sam is holding that angle with an AUG. So we'll see what he's able to come up with. He sees the shadows. They actually had a bit of a boost going on over here. And Ryan picks up Art on his way up.
CORSAIR, just a measly 15 HP to play with. There are still HEs and the Molotovs at Envy's disposal. Android on the cross. Couldn't ask for a cleaner kill, really, to the head of Yuri, who stopped just in his crosshair. And Henny with the bomb. Maybe try and make this a costly round if he can get the upper hand on towards the A side. There's still plenty of time, of course, with Vertigo being such a small map. Doesn't take long to get from one side of the map to the other. Envy is going to be taking the initiative, but he's going to lose his head as a result, and the rest of Envy aren't in position really to thwart this. They're going to have to rotate. In the meanwhile, Henny can realistically get this bomb planted, but he's looking for more players. Could Ryan be walking into a trap? He is, indeed. This is starting to get costly now. Nifty's going to go up and try and have a peek with the York. Henny perfectly baiting out Android, but be careful what you wished for, because Android will not miss.
He locked down that B-bomb site really nicely. None of the utilities seemed to really impact him. I mean, he just was able to hold that angle, get those couple of key kills as they started steaming their way into the site, and that gets Envy their first round. Obviously, Furia, off of the great success to start the hassle, able to get a full buy going into this one. Though Yuri a bit limited having the Galil.
This is the angle you're talking about, where Android is just peering down. It's so easy for CTs to get there quickly, especially with AWPs. So Fury have to be very careful about another potential push.
All you can really do is just kind of hold and make sure CTs don't abuse that side of the map entirely and actually push through into T-spawn while you're also still contesting for control of the A ramp. Now, Vinny actually catches Android looking for a bit more than just the control. He's looking for the pick, and Vinny has stuffed that in a big, big way. Gets an early advantage here for the Brazilians, as they also are still pressuring this A side. There is that boost in the corner again, I believe, here for Envy. This time it's not going to be successful. Sam is forced off. It takes a lot of damage on his way out.
Yeah, especially with a player advantage, it's not something that Fury can afford for twice. They can afford to just have one person focusing on that angle. Nifty, in the meanwhile, is just going to make sure that no one is currently pushing B. This is leaving the rest of his team on the A site. 40 seconds to play with. Henny is still making his presence felt. Could rotate. It's going to be Vinny, who is making a move underground, under Nifty right now. 30 seconds to go. This is starting to get a little bit tentative now for Furia.
They still have a little bit of utility to put to use, though. Still 3 smokes, a Molotov, and a couple of flashbangs, so they can still explode into this site in a very nice fashion and hopefully get themselves the edge to work their way in. You can't do the same smoke wall and just plant and fall back, though. Now it's a little bit more open, so it's a little bit harder to pressure your way in.
10 seconds to go. Entries have got to come in right now, and it looks like Envy may have done enough. Art isn't going to be able to feasibly take down all these players. Now all Nifty has to do is just survive, just to live. Oh my goodness, Furia. Too slow.
Yeah, they just got held up for way too long. They could never really make the commitment they wanted to inside the A side itself. Again, it is a much more open site than it used to be, so it's a little bit harder to block your way in. They just could not find the kills. Envy did a great job holding back and not giving them any good looks. That's now going to be 2 in a row for Envy. Timeout does come in. Limited money available for Furia. They have the 2 SIGs carried over, but everyone else is just far too low to really get much more than an upgraded pistol.
Plot thicken. Timeout. Thinking about an alarm. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't know if there's like an alarm going off at the stadium or something like that they're playing at. Obviously, we don't know what's going on at the venue.
Yeah, for the...
Apparently a fire alarm went off.
Well, that'll do it then. Hopefully nothing serious. Hopefully everyone's safe.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go to commercial break because our producer has to leave. So we'll let that all sort out, and we'll be back soon. Hope everything's all good.
We are back. False alarm, ladies and gentlemen. Seems that everyone is just fine. So
did you
evacuate
in Spirit, Vince?
I'm too lazy for that.
Yeah, well, I say we're not at the venue, so that's why we didn't know what was going on. But obviously, our producer is at the venue, and so he had to evacuate because of the alarm. But now he's back; everything's all good, supposedly. So we should be getting live back soon. I did evacuate in Spirit. I left my room, and I went to the bathroom and I came back. So that's kind of an evacuation in a way, multiple ways actually. 2 different evacuations took place there. I'll let you try to figure that out.
Brilliant. It's got to that stage in the day, hasn't it?
Well, you know, you gotta have some fun every now and then, right? I mean, it is a marathon. We've done 4 best of 1s. We're in 1 best of 3. We have another one to go after this. So, you know, you gotta do some change of pace every now and then here. You know, hang out with chat a little bit, which is always a mistake, but you know, do that too sometimes.
Yeah, we're in the weird position when we have no idea how long the players are going to take to get ready.
Yeah.
If that's even on the horizon. Plus, we haven't seen much of Vertigo, so it's like hard to break down what we've really seen.
Mm,
So it's a bit of a strange position to be in.
indeed. We do apologize, obviously, for delays, but not much you can do when there's like an alarm going off. Obviously, that's a kind of security issue. Got to make sure everything's okay. It's just kind of what happens sometimes at some of these venues. But again, if you're enjoying yourself, we still have a lot of Counter-Strike to go on the secondary stream. We're going to be here for the entirety of the group stage. You can follow Vince and I if you want to on Twitter. And obviously, if you want to tweet about the tournament, just make sure you're using that hashtag DHMasters. And look at this lovely camera of all the teams. Or kind of just random people walking around in front of team tables more than anything.
Match is on pause.
There we go.
Oh, hold on. They're saying TS. They can't talk, so maybe it's not going to get on.
Maybe not. Just kidding.
Another false alarm.
False alarm. There's like a song. Forget who. Is it The Weeknd? I can't.
Wait, so is this actually live? Because they were saying they have TS issues, but it seems like both.
Maybe the admin just had to quickly unmute it, and it's fine. I don't know.
All right. Okay. So we'll just take this as live in that case.
Yep.
So Furia did force buy. You were kind of posing the question: is if they did, it would be with a couple of pistols. Indeed, it is. So far from ideal.
Yep. That would definitely be a great way to sum things up here. At least they all have armor, though. And okay amount of utility. They've gotten control of A ramp pretty quickly as well. It's more of a lean towards B here for Envy and middle. As Envy Nifty is definitely forward on mid right now with the AWP. So they're able to get up A, but can they actually break through this time is going to be the question. They got stalled out for a long time last round and also lost off the clock. This time they're getting in much faster, and this utility is working out a lot better.
There is a boost, though. A boost over the smoke. Nifty is trying to look for a target. Bomb gonna get planted. They're not gonna fall for the same mistake twice. He's trying to get boosted up on the blue boxes. Not the ideal weapon to go for this kind of longer range peak. So post plant, there is a slight gap in that wall, which Yuri has just found out firsthand as his leg gets blown out. Vinny spraying with the SG, one of the 3 rifles they possess. He will claim another one. And although a couple players are low, grenades are starting to run dry for Envy. This retake is going to be very difficult to pull off. They may start to pull back. There's not much time either on the defusal. They're going to have to go for this one now, Envy. They're going to have to run away. There's going to be a couple of casualties as a result of the bomb blast, but Envy, against a pretty poor buy from Furia, have conceded the round.
Yeah, that was actually one of those weird 5-on-5 situations where the bomb actually gets planted. It's a throwback to older versions of Vertigo where it was so easy to kind of smoke wall your way into A and just fall back and play the post plant. Not as easy anymore to do, but they make it happen in that round. Now they're fully decked out. It's actually Envy on the back foot. 2 players just on USPs around the 2 M4s and the AWP. Again, the aggressive lean over towards the B side of the map here. And Nifty actually is going to find that pick onto Vinny. They might even be able to push forward and try to grab that gun at some point. They have control of ladder as well as they've pushed through mid. So Envy got a lot of control and they have a man advantage.
They do, but they had no one on the A site.
Yep, that is true.
Now Nifty's going to start to move in. If he's not careful, Arc could just push him close and get the kill. Now he's giving his position away. Molotov down. And the flick from Yuri with the SG. Nifty was burning anyway. And that shot was delivered so quickly. Nifty had no chance to react to it. Post plant again. And Envy looking to save some fallen weapons. I want to take it in the SG. It is so powerful on the CT side as ever. And Yuri has the choice of an AWP. He's going to throw it away. The way that Furia have been playing has been way more aggressive, and honestly, I don't think AWPing on T side is particularly good anyway.
Yep. So again, a bit of a gamble for maybe since they were on kind of a weird situation where they didn't really have the ability to buy around the 3 weapons that they had saved, and so they tried to gamble something, didn't really quite pan out. So Furia up now 6-2. Plicolino in chat says this is not live. I watched this match last month, and it was 16-8 to Furia. So if you really are from the future and it does end 16-8 to Furia, I'm gonna have to hit you up about some stuff.
Yeah, can you tell me the lottery numbers, please?
Yeah. It'd be nice. We'll see, though. We'll keep tabs on it.
Did he say 16-8 to who, though?
Furia.
Oh, Furia. Okay. All right.
Imagine.
Let's see. So far, it's looking good for that prediction. At least that Furia will be the victors. But, of course, there's still plenty of time to go. Peek in. But it's sprayed from Art. Not going to yield the kill. And, again, that sandbag little gap is being a real nuisance. It actually focused his fire elsewhere. Molotov going to bank off the wall. This forces Fugly backwards. But with the sandbag position from Som, with plenty of firepower behind him, how are they going to pull this one off? Well, while Som decides to relocate with a HG out, they go for the boost. It's going to be a second kill as well from Yuri. And Envy, who got the opening pick, is starting to collapse again.
Yeah, that aggressive sandbag position gets caught by a nice little boost there over at the forklift at the back of A ramp. Yuri, always good for an entry frag or two. Definitely the star of this team, in my opinion. Comes up big for his team. Get it back into a winnable position. 4-on-3. They're going to go for B. B's actually wide open. It's really just Android playing from towards spawn. Say about Nifty's AWP. Now they're starting to move towards the site, but the utility kind of holding them off. Android trying to counter with his own nades, trying to slow Furia down, but they're just going to plow through it all with the Extinguish. Might even actually boost towards middle, interestingly enough.
That's a cool play. Smoking out, you can see over the top of it if you boost into the little window. You can see through mid if there's any rotations. And now they're going to turn their attention elsewhere, but CT spawn is going to be where Yuri gets picked off from. Android switching across to the SG. They haven't quite got to the site just yet. And again, Furia are battling against time itself. Android coming under quite a lot of aggression, but it's going to be Nifty that holds on firm with his AWP. Meanwhile, Case Toronto's caught. He can go for this plant. It's not required. Furia have done it again with such little time remaining, Dust. They've just made every single second count. They've squeezed every little bit of life out of the round.
Yeah, they got a little bit scary because they were pretty much committed to B, but then they got flanked by Ryan, and they caught that kill, so they thought, okay, like, we should be able to make it back over to A, and they were heading that direction, but Android caught a big kill onto Yuri. Nifty got there with the AWP as well. It started to look very, very dicey indeed, but Furia still get the key kills in the end. Don't even need the bomb plant. It did come down to the wire on the clock, but it still went their way nonetheless. So they're up 7-2. Envy really running low on funds. They're obviously able to get a buy here, but Android has to take an MP9, and if they lose this, they're back to saving. So this is looking strong on the map pick of Furia so far.
Sure is. Again, this is a best of 3, though, not a best of 1. Our first best of 3 of the day. It's the elimination match, though. There is a chance that one of these teams will be eliminated in the very first day from Sweden. And it's a long travel back for either team.
Again, it's that B pressure and mid play from Envy. They've been favoring this a good bit while just kind of leaving one player towards the A bomb site. Vinny just holding back, watching for the push. Looks like we are seeing some mid control from Furia this time. Case Toronto and Yuri looking to take it. They catch Ryan inside the window. That's a big kill to catch. They're trying to boost the Opera up now there as well, and Nifty does get the kill. They weren't expecting that. Nice job there for Nifty to keep it even.
Tom jumps up. Perfect timing. Hit and run. Art, the victim this time around. They are going to try and fight fire with fire, quite literally throwing Molotovs on towards the wooden panel. So I'm going to peek back up again. Yuri claims his head. Another player has taken his position, though. It's going to be Android. Fugly's also made moves and inroads across to the site. All 3 CTs are here. This is the downside of Vertigo from a team's perspective. It's such a fast rotation time, and they are getting obliterated through the smoke. Yuri 1-on-3 in this post plant's not looking likely that he's going to come out triumphant. Hiding in the smoke and begging and hoping for the best. The first kill goes his way. At least he's able to neutralize one more player and hurt that economy that little bit more. But Furia are going to concede the 3rd round.
Really just came down to Nifty getting that re-aggression into window to keep it even. Then Sam, kind of the solo defender towards A, was able to peek up just in time to catch the push and get the frag. Big one to catch, that's for sure. And so it is going to be 3-7. Kind of saves them from having to go into save mode with their economy, but it's still a problem going into this next round. Same for Furia. This could be kind of a 2-for-1 deal round, depending on who takes it. Could be a way for Envy to kind of close this gap and really make something of this CT side.
Certainly a golden ticket back into the half, you'd say. Especially as we were discussing before about percentages of wins, it typically is favoring CT just about. So if they have a brutal half here, it's not going to fare too much better on their T side, you'd think, at least.
Right.
Again, Furia opting for the A site. Flashes and smoke's going to be deployed momentarily over the crane, making sure that the gap is also smoked off so the CTs can't have a quick cheeky peek. Grenades and Molotovs now being tossed across the back of the site. Nifty is there with his AWP. He's already taken a shot. He's given his position away, and Yuri has pummeled him through the smoke.
Oh! Yuri almost fell off the map.
I thought he had as well.
Like, oh, watch out there, Yuri.
He has now, but it's already dead. The impact's not going to do the damage the bullets already have. Som back in with the FAMAS, able to trade across for the M4. It's another post plant, smoking off the gap. Now the CTs, as they look to endeavor their way back onto the site and try and pillage what was once theirs. Vinny through the smoke, though, pierces just enough to get Som 6 foot under. And Art will do very much the same to Fugly, boosted up on the blue boxes. Android gonna try and take the fight to the T's. He's already picked up one. Smoke onto the site, has a kit, but he's gonna go in for the kills. He's got that blood frenzy coming in, but it's not gonna be enough. Furia get an 8th round, to be fair. Even if he got the last kill, I don't think he had enough time anyway.
No, probably not. Envy, thanks to the previous round victory, actually does have a little bit of money to work with in this. I'm not sure how much they want to commit into it, though. Obviously, it wouldn't be the most ideal buy, so they're just going to go for upgraded pistols instead. That's fair enough. They'll get a full buy in the next, but a chance for Fury to jump up to 9. They're doing a great job here on the T side thus far. Particularly the work that we've seen from Yuri on these entries and CORSAIR. Kind of the two guys you'd expect to be performing well are indeed doing so.
Yeah, this is another thing that we kind of discussed earlier on about the skill discrepancy between the two teams. Like, we've seen Furia take a lot of top-tier teams to their limits when it comes to skill, when it comes to these entry fragging roles. And, I mean, Vertigo just seems like it's tailor-made for players like CORSAIR or Yuri to me. It's not a surprise they're so good on this map.
Their early adopters is the biggest thing. Even on the original version of Vertigo, they were one of the best teams on it when they were making their run to the top 5 position in the world. Art leading the charge this time around. Actually gets caught by Nifty's Deagle. Nifty not quite able to get over to the Sig. The boost has also failed. Yuri picking up on that, looking for more. Flash is coming in, giving him some coverage. Nifty with that Sig in his hands now will get on top the blue bins.
CORSAIR has had a whiff on that smoke. Meanwhile, Nifty piercing the wall, and Henny will pierce Som. They're dissolving away this defense. Nifty is really the last man standing alongside Fugly, but Fugly only has the CZ. Nifty's head has been spotted. 25 seconds to go. Henny straight onto Fugly, leaving Nifty 1-on-3. He's trying to get round the side of them, see if he can flank a player. But it's Vinny that comes out ahead with a Galil, and he's able to trade across. It's gone from bad to worse. Envy are really struggling now.
Indeed. Obviously, that was a round they didn't have much into. They were kind of lucky that Nifty found the Sig so early off of a Deagle frag and made that interesting. But now they're back to the double op play. Nifty's been using his at mid and A. Android has often been playing kind of the B stairs angle with his AWP. Looks like he will kind of be the solo B defender actually in this round. Ryan kind of looking elsewhere. And there's a lot of presence towards this A ramp early on this time from Envy. Not gonna matter though. Art still finds Som. The aggression at the A ramp has not worked out. Art pushes forward for more. He's not done yet. Charging up. Finally, Nifty puts a stop to it.
Well, Nifty will cancel Art, but there's still many more Brazilians to contend with. Riot pummeling Yuri through the wooden panels. But meanwhile, it's more of a fake this time. Nifty has been spotted. Yuri knows exactly where he is, but now Nifty is going to just back away. There are more terrorists, though, aggressing elsewhere on the map. They're splitting up. They're heading towards B. They're trying to sell this fake, but Android isn't buying it.
No, not at all. He's still holding position here. Ryan in the back of the site as well. That bomb, though, is coming under and through over towards A side because Yuri has snuck into the site. Does Nifty realize it's the biggest question? He's playing towards the elevators. I'm not sure he's aware Yuri's pushed this deep in, but he might still catch a kill on someone coming up ramp before he ever has to deal with Yuri. It all comes down to timing, and the no-scope comes in from Nifty.
And this now puts him in good stead to repel the push and buy up enough time for the rest of his team to arrive. He's been caught from the side, though, from CORSAIR. There's too many angles for him to watch out for. Plus, with the AWP, it's always going to have the barrel coming around the corner, giving your position away. Ryan needs to join Android. Smoke in there. That grenade could do a bit of damage towards CORSAIR. Just chips him down 27. They're going to be pushing through. Both together. They've got flashes. They could go for a pop flash into peak, but they don't bother doing it. However, the double stack is going to catch CORSAIR off guard. He only anticipated one play coming through, and it's coming down to this one-on-one duel. It could be so vitally important for either team. This could be Furia on double digits, and it's looking like Henny's done enough. It's looking like he's got rid of the time, or maybe not actually. Ryan is back on with the kit, and he's going to have more than enough time to get the defuse. I thought Henny had that in the bag.
Yeah, it's always tough when it comes down to a 1v1 and you're both dancing around a box, and obviously the clock is on Ryan because he's got to eventually defuse the bomb. Luckily, he had a kit, gave him a little bit of extra time to work it out. And in the cat and mouse game, Ryan came out on top. Finally, another round here from Envy as we go into the last round of the half. It's been a pretty dominant from Furia. They were up 4-0 at one point. They had won 5 of the last 6 rounds up until that one. Well, just a couple of rounds left to go. We've never seen Envy get more than 2 rounds in a row, but they would need to win out to get themselves in a really close position.
In terms of kill dispersal, you can see that there's a few skyscrapers over there on Furia. CORSAIR 15 kills, Yuri 13. ADR-wise, 113 and 100 respectively. It's only Ryan, one of the players that may have gone through many people's radars, on 96 ADR on Envy, that is even close to those 2 players.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd one because, you know, like you're playing T-side of Vertigo, so neither primary opper really feels comfortable opping a whole heck of a lot. We haven't seen an op actually a single time from Fury on this T-side, so I wonder if that's obviously impacted them a little bit. They're still figuring out roles as well between Art and Henny, I'm sure. So some of that could be affecting their numbers, obviously.
Here comes the barrage of grenades. Android pretty lonely, accompanied by the Brazilians' flashes, smokes, molotovs, and HEs, and Art's AK-47 rounds. He's put into a permanent slumber. Ryan holding the line on generators. He's throwing a smoke in there and trying to maybe push behind it. Som has made a move around the back of the T's. Going to keep them interested in more than one angle and re-aggression. Here's the UMP from the side, but he's going to run out of bullets. Just a Glock to his name. HP is working completely against him, but suddenly the CTs have been thinned down significantly, and it was only Fugly alive. And how Vinny survived that, I will never know.
Yeah, really good management from Fury inside the slide. I mean, they were getting backstabbed by Som. Nitty was popping all shots with the AWP up close by the generators. Yet they found a way to muscle their way through it. They limited Som's impact on the flank. They were able to take down Nifty after just one shot. And now they put themselves up to 10-4, and they have Envy on a very, very low buy in the final round of the half. Fugly again trying to get aggressive on a ramp. Does eventually find his man, but they've taken a lot of casualties along the way. Fugly trying to even it back up. Indeed, he does. Ryan adding on to it. Man advantage actually for now Envy. And that's gone.
CORSAIR ate a bunch of damage, but so has Fugly. 2 HP to his name. CORSAIR on 13. Unlucky for some. We'll have to see if Furia can work with that luck. There's a spin across from Vinny. That should have been a kill. He's on 1 HP. Everybody on the server right now is a gust of wind away from death. And CORSAIR is going to go for the outright bomb plant. Fugly, 2 bullets could win this round for him. Right now, he's seen CORSAIR's head protruding round the corner of the blue boxes off the site. But there is Vinny, point blank range and will not miss. Executes Fugly. 11-4 half to Furia on their choice of map. We're going to have to see if Envy can mount some kind of mental comeback, some kind of storm after this short commercial break. On the dizzying heights of Vertigo, Envious have a solid climb ahead of them. 11-4 deficit, and they're also moving through onto the T side, which statistically speaking, as Dustin and I did discuss earlier, isn't often the favorable side on Vertigo, or at least it hasn't been lately. So this is going to be an uphill climb, to say the least here, Dust. And they're going to take no prisoners. They're just going straight in. They're going straight aggressive up the ramp towards A, not messing about at all. And Nifty is just going to be culling, executing any player that comes up against him. It's 3 kills already into a bomb plant in the blink of an eye. Fury is making a move around the back of them with the rotation. CORSAIR is lending him a helping hand. But it's 4 Ts they have to try and fend off against. And trying to wallbang with USPs, not an ideal situation to be in.
No, not at all. Can't really see this retake working out. They have a kick, gets them a little bit of time, but Yuri is unarmored, and they are well behind on the man count. CORSAIR is going to spot one, gets 1 frag, but his teammates fallen along the way, leaving him all alone in the 1v3. Running low on time, getting pushed, finding kills, though. Nifty eventually completes the ace in the end. Brilliant stuff there from Envy on the A ramp push, just no holds barred. Ran their way in there and got the job done.
That's certainly one way to approach the map, I suppose. I mean, Furia were much more calculated and methodical on there and was sitting back and waiting for pushes, but Envy didn't want to wait and find out the answers. They wanted to just claim it for themselves. Flashbang through onto ramp. Fugly again aggressive. Makes a lot more sense with the Mac 10 taking point. Just going to make sure no one's behind the sandbags so they don't get back attacked. Full USPs. There is a flashbang at their disposal as well. Any kills would be a nice juicy bonus, but this is looking like it's going to very comfortably go the way of the NA team. Flash is now being deployed from Envy. 2 kills going the way of Fugly. It's not looking good for Furia.
No, certainly not. Ryan getting this bomb planted here on the site, no problem. Obviously, can't expect much with just the 2 HPs. Art, though, getting pushed, able to take down 1 at least on his way out. Android, though, still with the Mat 10, could go try to farm some cash. Sam, actually the one, though, who'll find it as he kind of ran through B. Backstabs Yuri. Gets them to 6-11. But now we could see Furia go for a buy. And indeed, we do see the M4 purchase from CORSAIR. Armor getting up everywhere else. And we are going to have full rifles across the board here for Furia. So this is going to be the real test for Envy. What can they do against a fully decked out Furia on a gun round? Though the utility advantage is still massively in favor of Envy.
Sure, and Furia have no kit either. So if they can get onto a site, which they've been able to do pretty comfortably so far, with just super aggressive plays, and there's another one. This time, though, Furia do peak 1 by 1. And they are just shuffled out of the round and mangled by Nifty's SG. It's going to be another kill if CORSAIR is not careful. I'm surprised he's even got in for this, to be honest, considering how quickly his teammates were decimated. But Envy are going to shift their focus over onto the B side of the map instead.
Indeed, they are. They know that they have so much of an advantage now with all those opening kills they got on the ramp. They can really just manipulate the map however they want to. There is still CORSAIR actually trying to hold out towards the A-bomb, so it's really only Yuri who's anywhere nearby. He's in mid. Probably just looking to save these guns if they can. Definitely a 7th round going to be going Envy's way. Again, just kind of Furia trying to go for something fast and aggressive on the A-ramp, which is very viable now on this map with that new kind of drop-down position and such. But the problem is they didn't really have enough utility to support it felt like, and they lost all their duels. So not a good look from Furia in the opening gun round at all.
Even those flashbangs going to hit CORSAIR, but he still comes out worse for wear. How does that happen?
I don't know. He got the dink. That's that silence and 4 fire rate, man. Kind of burned him on that one.
Well, at least Yuri seemingly will be able to save his M4 from the Brazilian's perspective, but not likely to be much behind it here, Dust. I think it's going to be a case of maybe some pistols, and that's about all.
Kind of wild to see silence and 4s, man. You don't see it too often. It is more viable now than it used to be with like the bullet buff I got a while back, but still, I feel the A4 superior.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, there's a reason you don't see it used as much. In case what I found out firsthand, I don't know how Artis managed to duck down there and get a kill as a team kill. But Yuri, to be fair to Yuri, CORSAIR did just walk straight in front of him with like 1 HP.
That is very true. Definitely seen to have a death wish on that. The bomb's actually still down here inside the smoke grenade, but Sam through it, finds the kill, able to put a deeper smoke to get towards this bomb, perhaps even more, though they still haven't been able to reclaim it just yet. Now they do. Sam hops around, grabs it. They'll be running towards B, which is wide open for the taking. Vinny and Yuri were posted up on the ramp, so should be a free plant and likely another round victory for Envy.
Yeah, it could be in safe territory as well. I mean, Vinny did deplete down to $1,500, so saved M4 and Kevlar would not be bad at all, but we know that Furia are a very aggressive team. Even with Yuri on 6 HP, they may feel like this is possible, this is doable. Android has the perfect angle, though, to slump Yuri. And yeah, I was going to say, Vinny, surely just save now. Your teammate's dead. You have no hope of clutching this. Just keep the M4 alive.
It's going to be an 8th round here for Envy, starting to get fired up on the second half. They've won all the rounds so far. It was a 4-0 start from Furia as well when they were on T side. So they've mirrored each other in that way. What did the guy say, 16-8? The guy in chat? His prediction from the future?
Still doable.
Yep, had to win out from this point forward, but it could happen. Envy gets one more round, though, and you are a liar, sir. We don't like those.
So just the one kit. Yep. And he's still with $3,000 because of the save. I think they go for the ramp aggression again. It didn't work out last time, but this time they do have the utility to supplement it. It's looking like Envy are going to go for more of a B-centric hit, though they already have players up on the staircase.
Yeah, Fugly kind of watching for this push here on the rafters. They exchange some bullets with one another. Not any real damage done and all that.
Interesting that we haven't really seen many mid plays from Envy or Furia, to be fair. Like, I feel like mid is normally a hotly contested area of this map.
Yeah, I don't know. Mid is really weird on this map compared to other maps as far as, like, necessity of mid control and how much. I feel like A ramp control and then controlling B stairs is kind of a split push method instead of just, like, a focused mid control like other maps have. Either way, as you've been talking about from the beginning, Envy looking to pressure B, and now we're seeing them commit to that. But they could even try to boost this window and get a kill into middle. You see Nifty setting up for that right now. He's taking some nade damage along the way and actually gets spammed. CORSAIR is aware of that little maneuver, and he's punished him for it.
Yeah, he read that from a mile away. It's worthwhile just tossing out some bullets and seeing if anything sticks. This time the M4A1S does not betray him. 30 seconds left. The T's have not really done a great deal to secure either site. Now they're starting to move up to A. Vinny is here, but so is Henny behind the sandbags. Good headshot from Ryan, but the bomb isn't under his control. He's going to have to try and help his teammates out on A instead. Vinny has been flashed and has been put down. Meanwhile, Henny stuck on the sandbags. Can he deliver? Yes, he lands a shot, but the bomb is still going to get planted all the same. Art, in the meanwhile, from the back room, is able to claim another kill into Fugly, and it's down to Android. This is a winnable round, and it's just got a whole lot more likely. Plus, CORSAIR gave his position away. He fired off a shot, but still, somehow, someway, vaporizes Android, and will be on the side. He's going to try and pick up his teammates off of Henny. Has more than enough time to get this defuse with the kit, and Furia will get 12-8 lead in their favor.
Kind of a scrappy round. They even got the bomb plant into all of it, but Fury able to kind of maintain a man advantage through the bulk of it. Do make it to 12-8. Plenty of money for Envy, though. The buy, they had that big streak in the beginning of the half. They had another bomb plant added to it, so they'll be able to get all the SIGs. It's actually Fury who had the worst buy because it came down to a 1v1. A lot of rebuying having to happen, keeping their money really, really low. Yuri actually having to get an MP9 to get some utility, so it's still looking pretty good for Envy, all things considered. But this push from Yuri is going to be very beneficial. He gets the kill and gets to upgrade his weapon.
Yeah, mixing up the pace, not allowing Envy to stay in positions and feel comfortable in doing so. Oh, was that a bit of a whiffed nade? I think it bounced off the wrong side of the ladder for Yuri. Not too much of a problem anyway. Nifty's going to be able to pick up the bomb. This time, Envy seemingly are starting to split up a little bit more, trying to use the downstairs area to rotate on the B staircase. Not for the first time, Fugly's waiting. He's anticipating that peek in case Serato. He's going to be expunged from the round, as will Android. However, Yuri is taken mid-control. This gives them 2 avenues of aggression back on the B site if they so choose to go aggressively anytime soon, which they're going to have to if they're going to repel this bomb plant. There's smokes and flashes, and 3 angry terrorists in the form of Nifty, Som, and Fugly are like to push their threat onto the site. Nifty's got the first entry, but Yuri's going to hold the line for a few more moments, allowing Henny to strike with his AWP. He's waiting and anticipating a second player to start peeking him, but Fugly doesn't have that interest in mind. He wants to try and get this bomb planted if he can, but he has no idea what that second player is. He knows Henny's around the generators, but it's all about Vinny. Smoke on towards the generators. Gonna try and buy him up time, but Henny perforates it and takes Fugly and Envy out of the round.
Another big round here from Furia. They're starting to finally chip away at Envy's economy, though there's still plenty left to buy into this round, but it is getting to a point where a save would be around the corner if they were to take another loss here, most likely. Or they would be basically stuck in a 4-spotted survive scenario for the rest of the game, where they would have a very worse off buy than what they have into this one, I guess is kind of the main point. Furia getting aggressive on the A-ramp to open. It's a 1-for-1 trade, which I think Envy are going to be pretty happy with, and they might even be able to catch Vinny. He's going to have a hard time escaping now. He's stuck in this corner. He's getting mollied repeatedly. Luckily, Henny's there for the rescue.
Mate, these grenades have been brutal. They just landed several tactical nukes on Envy, taking them from 100 to 0 HP in the process. And it was looking pretty good right at the start of the round. It was a 1-for-1 trade. You thought, okay, here we go. It's going to be another ramp push.
Yep.
It's been stalled, completely stalled out.
Yeah, good job by Henny, I think, with that one grenade. Yuri also a big part of how that all played out. And so now it's just going to be Nifty and Som. Still a lot of time to use, obviously, as Nifty has that bomb still at the bottom of A ramp. Will eventually be meeting up with his teammate, who kind of perched up over here towards the middle area, I believe. Indeed, he's actually made it all the way to the sandbags. Kind of hiding out.
Now, CORSAIR had just seen that head protruding over the stairs. He jumped up. And Som that goes straight in, but he's been caught with a nade out. He's taken liberties, and he's lost his life as a result. Nifty now desperately trying to weave away through these smokes to victory. And if Envy lose this round, they're in real trouble. Nifty taking all of these sweet seconds, all this sweet time. He's been moving past the generators, moving past Yuri, who will get him from behind. Nifty turned to face his assailant, but all it resulted in was a bullet between his eyes.
We do have another pause coming in. Apparently this is a technical pause. It is coming from Furia. Not sure what's going on. It's apparently a mic issue from what Vinny's saying. So hopefully we'll get that resolved here shortly. We're at 14-8, so Furia just a couple away from sealing the deal on their map pick. The money is in a place where Envy obviously can buy, and they obviously need to because they don't want to give map point for free, but it is going to be a way worse buy than what they had in the previous. They're going to probably lack some utility to be able to, be able to get the gun and armors, or at least not as much utility as they had last round, but still a decent amount. If they lose this when they go for the final round of the half, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. So Furia really have a good grasp of things. But if Envy could just hit the scales one time, they would have Furia saving immediately, so that could be huge.
That is a good point. Potential avenue back in Envy. Can they navigate their way towards it, though? Yeah, it seems like their poison of choice is the A ramp once again.
Yep. Something they pretty much get it for free. Henny tried an aggressive peek with the AWP, but then they quickly kind of withdrew from it. Meanwhile, Ryan tries to take a little bit of a duel at middle against Yuri. That's a tough angle to fight against that sandbags place, and Yuri isn't able to find the frag. Henny also pitching in now as well. Able to get away. Som was not able to get the jump on him. So Henny gets a freebie, essentially. Gets into a 5-on-3 for Furia.
That's an audacious play as well. Up on the boxes, susceptible to being pushed from ramp, but gets the kill and drops back. Meanwhile, though, Som is at least going to try and keep the CTs honest, but Art bit of a swindler. Connects the headshot. Henny flick to Fugly. Misses a fairly easy shot by his high standards, and that is going to cost him his life and potentially Furia the round, but Art is going to seal the deal. 7 map points.
Yep, and now Envy are in a real rotten place. Like, all they can really do is get... I mean, they're going to take a tactical to talk about even more, but I mean, you're talking like SMG armor, upgraded pistol to get utility. Impossible to really buy armor and be able to get a rifle. So it's going to be a lot of upgraded pistols, maybe SMGs. This is going to be a tough one, and they have to win 7 in a row just to get to overtime. It's not looking good for the North American side.
Yeah, it's tough to see how they can make it by like this stick when even with full rifles they've been able to crack open these sites. It was a rough start to the half of Fury. They lost 4 in a row,
right,
including a couple of rifles, but since then they seem to have pieced together what Envy were doing and really effectively neutralized them, Dust. I mean, we haven't seen much from Envy in these last few rounds.
No, not at all. And look at Vinny. He's not only gotten down ramp, but he's even up on the box by forklift, and he's able to smoke off this bridge. It's gone. And this allows a rotation from Henny to assist over towards B. Even Art can get out of here and start helping towards B as well. So much real estate Vinny owns.
Somewhat of a tycoon now of real estate. Furia not giving up anything for free, charging way too much rent for every single foot that Envy stepped forward. They're so close to claiming a successful map of their choosing. Case Dorato, 2 frags in, 2 frags out. Art's going to come in as well. An Android, Mac 10 in hand. Going to have to pull out something pretty special, and it won't be happening. 16-8 the scoreline. And Furia have claimed their map, and that guy that said it was 16-8, if you can just
holy shit,
send me a DM with the lottery numbers, I really appreciate that. Cheers.
Plicalino, I think it was. I don't know how to pronounce that, dude. Like, I'm trying here, but Plicalino, that guy is part of the Illuminati. Could you please DM Vince and I literally everything we need to know to become rich real estate type?
Stock, exchange, all that good stuff in my DM. Thanks, mate.
Yep, appreciate it. Anyway, we are going to take a short break before the next map. Again, if you folks are enjoying yourselves, please do follow up because we still have plenty more games to go over today and the next 2 days. In fact, you also follow up Vince and I. Also, make sure you're using the hashtag DHMasters on Twitter and such, Instagram, whatever. If you want to kind of get involved in the conversation of the tournament, let DreamHack know how you're enjoying the broadcast or talk about the games, what have you. Definitely put those tags up. We appreciate that. But yeah, we're going to take a quick break. It's Vince and Dust. We'll be back in just a bit for map number 2.